Are you feeling like a zombie lately? Tired of the same old energy drinks promising the world but delivering the jitters and a crash? Look no further than Sneak Energy, your secret weapon for all your energy needs. With all natural ingredients, Sneak will give you all the energy you need to boost through your day without feeling like a lab rat on caffeine. Don't believe us? Try it yourself and see what a difference it can make to your routine. So what are you waiting for? Hit the link in the description and pick up your Sneak Starter Pack today. Now enjoy the clip. Look, Chelsea could still win this game, but it's a dreadful performance, and I'll just never understand why they brought Lampard back. Tuchel to Potter to Lampard is the biggest downgrade I've ever seen in one season. Complete incompetence from the board, says Michael. I know Lampard is a club legend, but I don't know what warranted him a second chance after his first stint as manager, says Stephen. Thank you very much. And do you think Chelsea and Liverpool's poor form continue into next season, or has this been a blip this season for them both, says DCP? I think Chelsea have the potential to come back because they've got the funds to do it. Liverpool, as we saw with Klopp, probably don't. So it'd be very. I wouldn't bet they'll be both back. I think Chelsea need Maguire to really build up from the back. I'll tell you what, Devon. I think Maguire would be brilliant for them. Michael Craney says Tuchel to Potter to Lampard is the biggest downgrade I've ever seen in one season. Well, I don't know whether you're into your UK culture, but or film culture or whatever, but I would say Tuchel to Potter to Lampard in a downgrade is like being married to Margot Robbie, divorcing her to marry Sharon from EastEnders, and then divorcing her to marry Theresa May. It's that sort of sharp decline for Chelsea. You know, you had it all, you went down market, and then you just did something really stupid. I'm not even talking about looks. I'm talking about personality as well. Margot looks like she's a bit of a laugh. Sharon's always moaning, and Theresa May, well, she just looks like a bit of a bookworm to me, a bit of a librarian. There you go. Lee says James Corden's a West Ham fan. Why would they listen to him? Yeah, it must be a total joke. Worst manager of the year poll, says Mario. Well, I think it's got to be Lampard. It's got to be Lampard, hasn't it? I'm Roddy Pickering. I mean, it's either Lampard or that Southampton coach. He was pretty rubbish. But if you don't know who Theresa May is, Google it. Or Sharon from EastEnders. Basically, just get a picture of Margot Robbie, Sharon from EastEnders and Theresa May, and then you'll see what I've just done. But it's not about looks. It's about personality, perception. Worst manager of the year, I would say Nathan Jones at Southampton. But really, the way Chelsea are doing under Lampard, I mean, there's meant to be the whole thing is you can employ a crap manager as an interim, but most of them do get a new manager bounce. So if you look at what's his name? Oh, what was his name? Tim Sherwood. So Tim Sherwood was the new manager bounce, wasn't he, at Spurs at one point, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the new manager bounce at Manchester United. So you're meant to get a new manager bounce, aren't you? That's what I'm saying. Every manager should give you a new manager bounce. Lampard's so bad, this would be his third. Well, they're not losing here, to be fair, but if they did lose, this would be his third loss in a row. So he's got all the new manager bounce of a brick. You know, you're meant to get a new manager bounce, and there just isn't one at the moment for him. Yeah, Di Matteo bloody won him a Champions League. You normally get a new manager bounce, whoever you bring in. And I think that's what I mean. Chelsea fans, talk to me, or anybody else talk to me, because I couldn't see a new manager bounce with Lampard because I don't think he's very good. But I look at that Chelsea squad and I go, it's nearly impossible not to have a new manager bounce. But this just shows you, I think this is how badly Chelsea are run. They wanted to stick with Potter. They publicly said they were going to stick with Potter. 2 weeks later, they sacked him, which shows they're weak. They changed their mind. Then they bring Lampard in because they just think club legend, new manager bounce. They'd have been better off giving it to John Terry. Because I think, John Terry is probably a better coach than Frank Lampard. But the fact that he hasn't even given them a new manager bounce says everything. But I'm not having a pop at Lampard, really, because I don't blame him for taking the job. I'm having a pop at the owners of Chelsea. It's a terrible season for them. Absolutely terrible. And the decision-making they've made and the money they've spent, I think you'd struggle to... this is a debut... Forget the managers for a minute. This is a debut season for a new owner. I don't think you could screw it up anymore. And I don't think it's been done on purpose. I think they genuinely think... It's an example in how hard it is to manage a Premier League football club, or how easy it is to get it wrong, because they've spent loads and loads and loads and loads of money, but they've had 3 managers, and it's getting worse. As I say, this is the stats at half time. Chelsea are the home team. Look at the red. Look at the squad. Even though that's a reserve Chelsea team today, it's still worth about 700 million, and it's getting kicked all over Stamford Bridge. It's getting worse. Chelsea's situation is getting worse. What are your thoughts on Levi Colwill? Didn't you know he was on loan from Chelsea? Top class, young, left-footed centre-back, says Simon. Apparently there's a few clubs that want him. Villa today, we could do with Spurs dropping some points as well. Do you think Lampard is capable of getting the sack before the end of the season, says Omka? If he loses today, that's 3 losses in a row. If Real Madrid beat him, that's 4 losses in a row. So I don't think he can get sacked, but I don't know where if that's the feel-good factor, I'd hate to see what the not good feel factor is. What do you expect from an owner who says his team is going to the Bernabeu and winning 3-0, says Connor? You know what it is? Where do you think Pulisic should go, says Devon? Well, he's got to go and re-spark his career somewhere. You know what the problem with Chelsea is? I don't have a massive problem with Todd Boehly. When he first came in, I actually defended him and said that there was a bit of xenophobic comments about him, which I just didn't agree with. But you know what? I don't like this sort of Jamie Carragher, Graham Souness assessment of someone where they're just blindly guessing, because it's just a guess. Like if Martinez had been a flop, Carragher and Souness would have said, I played the game. I told you that Martinez not good enough. I'm telling you now, he's too small. But the reality is it would have been a guess, because they never watched Martinez, because they said he was rubbish in the air, and he's not rubbish in the air. I don't like people who guess. So when people were slagging off Todd Boehly last summer, I was like, look, just because we've had a few bad American owners in this country, in this league, doesn't mean you can say that Todd Boehly's a bad owner. And also, he wants to spend money. But he's a different type of bad owner at the moment. I think his intent and heart is in the right place. He wants Chelsea to be the best. Unfortunately, what you've got is, if you have a Formula One team, you build the car, and then you get Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen to drive it. Todd Boehly wants to drive the car. That's what the problem with Chelsea is. He's spent the money. He's built the car that can win the title, but he wants to drive the car. And that's what a good owner is. You look at what Man City have done. You look at what Newcastle are doing. You've got to build the car and get the driver and let them race and put the team around them. I think Chelsea at the moment lack football people in positions of power. Whether that's the CEO, the director of football, they're a mess. And it just feels like players have been bought because Todd Boehly wants them. And that's the problem Chelsea have got. It's not like what United have got, where they're trying to bleed the club dry. It's not what Liverpool have got at the moment, where they haven't got any money. They've got the money. They should be successful, but they haven't brought football people in because Todd Boehly, it appears, is making too many football decisions. And it ain't easy, bruv. I wouldn't find it easy. You wouldn't find it easy. And we probably watch a lot more and know a lot more about football than he does. So, yeah, he could be a good owner for them, but he's got to wind his neck in. That's what he's got to do.